One city is cutting off credits for rooftop solar panels. Now residents are pushing back after the Kaysville City Council put a temporary end to net metering. Fox 13's Kirsten Nunez explains why residents say there's no incentive to clean the air.
This temporary suspension in Kaysville means new solar installations won't get any credit for the excess power they put back into the grid. And many say this is the wrong decision at the wrong time.
We're deeply concerned that the Kaysville City Council chose to essentially shut down efforts from folks to generate their own clean energy and to try to be part of the solution to have cleaner air and cleaner energy.
Families investing thousands of dollars into rooftop solar panels won't be getting any payback after the Kaysville City Council put a moratorium on credit for homes with solar panels. Residents say that will significantly increase the time it takes them to see payback on their investment.
And it would have made the return on investment go from 5-6 years to 20 or 30 years, maybe longer.
John Lovelace put solar panels on his home in Kaysville 5 years ago, and while he is grandfathered into the net metering, he says taking away credits will discourage others from investing in cleaner energy.
Whatever their house isn't using right then, they would be giving away for free.
But Kaysville Power says it puts an undue burden on other residents, and with an influx of residents putting solar panels on their home throughout the city, new regulations are necessary.
Because there's so many coming on, we want to make sure we do it right. Even if it was 1 or 2 customers, I don't think that the rest of the Kaysville residents should be subsidizing them.
But environmentalists say they should do the research before cutting off credits.
If they can show that, we can say, oh, you're right, let's do something about it. But until that time, show me the numbers, or else bring back the net metering agreement.
The moratorium set by the City Council could last up to 6 months, but Kaysville Power hopes to come to a decision much sooner than that. In Kaysville, Kirsten Nunez, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Solar panels are getting more expensive for one Utah city, and residents are pushing back after the City Council cut credits.
Fox 13's Kirsten Nunez explains why some argue it's a step in the wrong direction.
Dozens of solar panels cover John Lovelace's home in Kaysville. It's an expensive investment he made 5 years ago, but he expected it to pay off in the long run.
I wanted to have cleaner energy. I wanted to be have independence of energy, be able to offset some of the costs of electricity.
During the summer, Lovelace produces more energy than he can use. That excess power is put into the grid to power his neighbors' homes. He then receives a 1-for-1 credit for each kilowatt.
I'd be giving up probably 7 megawatt hours a year if I didn't have net metering.
But that's what could happen to new solar installations in Kaysville. The City Council voted for a temporary suspension of net metering.
We're deeply concerned that the Kaysville City Council chose to essentially shut down efforts from folks to generate their own clean energy and to try to be part of the solution to have cleaner air and cleaner energy.
Matt Pacenza with Heal Utah, which promotes renewable energy, says this is a big step backward. But the Kaysville Power says the number of homes with solar panels is growing, and that is putting an undue burden on other residents.
We didn't want, the non-solar customers subsidizing the new solar customers, so we are gathering information from all sources.
But some residents argue there's no need for a change. With nearly 9,000 ratepayers in Kaysville, only 50 households have rooftop solar panels.
I can't even imagine or fathom how it is that this 0.5% of all their customers is having some huge financial impact on the rest of the system.
The moratorium set by the City Council could last up to 6 months, but Kaysville Power hopes to come to a decision much sooner than that. In Kaysville, Kirsten Nunez, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Now back to that solar story. It's all a bit complicated. These Kaysville residents want to install new solar panels on their homes. Now these panels create excess power, but the homeowners are being told they won't get credit for it, at least not right now. Good for Utah's Kimberly Nelson is here to hash this all out. Kimberly?
Well, Kim, Kaysville Power recently went to the City Council and said they're concerned too many Kaysville residents want to install solar arrays on their home. The utility claims it's worried about solar customers paying their fair share. So while the city tries to figure out what's fair, the council has placed a 6-month moratorium on net metering for any new solar installations. Thanks to this solar array, Kaysville resident John Lovelace has a net zero home.
Over the period of an entire year, you consume the same amount of energy as what your solar panels are making.
Kaysville City Power is concerned that residents like Lovelace, who create their own electricity, leave other power users to pick up the cost of maintaining the power system.
They're producing their power during the middle of the day and enough power where they're producing more than they're using and not paying anything to keep the general basic cost, operation maintenance cost.
Kaysville Power says it just wants to ensure non-solar users aren't subsidizing the solar customers. And by net metering, it ensures every kilowatt of power solar users create and don't use goes back to the grid and then gives them an equal credit. Now, of Kaysville's 8,900 power users, only 50 have solar arrays. The power company claims that number could soon soar. They claim they're getting 2 to 3 calls a week of people interested in going solar. So the council agreed and put a 6-month moratorium on net metering for any new solar customers while they figure out a fair agreement. New customers like Mark True.
On the west side of the roof, on the front.
True just moved with his family back to Utah and planned on putting a solar installation on his home. But without net metering, he can't afford the $20,000 cost.
Without a net metering agreement in place, it makes it significantly more difficult for us to put together the financial means to do a solar panel installation within the next year and a half.
Lovelace agrees without a net metering agreement, it wouldn't pay for anyone to install solar panels on their home.
Suppose you put solar panels on your house and you made 30 kilowatt hours in a day. Yet during that time that it's making 30, your house is only using 5. The other 25 will be given back to the power company for free, and you'll never get those back.
Well, unless you pay for them. Again, the moratorium is only for 6 months. The mayor of Kaysville assures me the city will work on coming up with a net metering agreement that works for everyone. We'll, of course, stay on top of the progress. Reporting in the studio, Kimberly Nelson, Good for Utah.